entertainment purposes only. You'd be an idiot to listen to anything these degenerates say. Invest at your own risk, do research, but seriously don't listen to these ass clowns. Now enjoy Cash Daddies.
Right, I cut it a little short. Sorry about that, Johnny. Johnny hates when I cut it short, but sometimes I gotta do it.
You're not using the system properly is the issue here. There is a system where you load an intro and then it plays to completion and then automatically transitions to us. But you haven't loaded it properly.
Johnny, you love transitioning, dude. That's one thing I'll say about you.
I'm a big fan of transitions. Any professional editor would know a hell of a lot about transitions.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Cash Daddies. We're banking fags. We're live from the Copy My Crypto studios adjacent. Howie can't hear us, so he's upset.
I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, so you can hear us. Living the dream. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. America is winning. America is winning. How are you guys? How's your week?
Hey, it's wild. It's early. It's wild. It is what it is, man. Got a lot of shit going on.
It is what it is,
boys.
Craig Kimbrell is an Atlanta Brave again. I'm very happy about that.
Well, Johnny, congratulations.
One of the legends of Atlanta. He's back for a little retirement party. So he's been pitching well in AAA. We'll see. We could use some help in the bullpen. I'm happy about that.
Well, we're happy about you guys. And, you know, this is a great show where the bangers bang. And if you really want to feel like you really need that action, you need to go to our Patreon, guys. That's right. We got a hot Patreon. The kids love it. Everyone loves it. Look at that. Bang. Look at that. Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Cash Daddies. Join Howie's homies. $20 a month. You get nothing but bangers. Okay. Investing is like gambling. You got to, don't invest more than you could lose. But Howie's been on fire. And then if you want Johnny and I to watch you make love, go to Making Whoopee for $1,000 a month. Right, guys? How's the Patreon doing, guys?
Howie's muted.
And we can't. Howie, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm not muted. All right, here we go. Look,
someday.
It's wild. We're getting negative news, and the market continues to go up. Sentiment is strong right now.
I love when sentiment is strong.
It's strong. It's strong. I'm holding on. I'm holding some Tesla puts right now. Actually, not looking bad. I think that it's down 8 points today. I think we got more to go. It is what it is, man. I think we're gonna be all right. I got to keep the faith.
I think Tesla's still a good buy at this.
No, I don't. I think it's going back. When you look at guys like Ross Gerber, who owns just hundreds of thousands of shares, and he's just dumping it. He's dumping it because he thinks it's too high. I follow the money. I follow the smart money. It's like the Nigerian brothers say, follow the smart money. I think the stock's going to drop. So holding some puts, holding a lot of puts.
Can I take a moment to just tell Johnny his thumbnails are fire? Your thumbnails are fire, Johnny.
So I appreciate that, Sam. Thank you. I found what you liked in thumbnails, and I just leaned hard into that.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, dude. So we'll see what happens, dude. I mean, it went down Tesla, then it shot back up, and now you're saying it's going to go back down.
I mean, listen, this thing. Tesla is up. It's gone from 227 to 341 in 4 weeks, in 1 month. So, and I'm looking right now. It hit 349 down to 341. I think we go back below 300 sooner than later.
Really?
I have a good feeling. And I put my money where my mouth is. I got a few puts.
Are you going to pick some up there, or do you think it's got more room to fall?
I think it's going to drop back to 275, 276. I may buy a little there. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what goes on. I mean, there's so much negative, and it's not just negative news, it's statistical news. Like, look, Moody's downgraded the U.S. debt today. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the big story that we led with in the headline, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Moody's
Well,
downgraded the
just on
US
Tesla
debt.
for just a second, too. Also, their European sales are apparently just absolutely in the toilet, and they really depended on those to, it's like a baseline, like a floor for sales. But yeah, Moody's, this is crazy. I mean, and the reasoning for downgrading it is because we're just carrying so much debt as a country. Now, there's a certain segment of the American government. They're people in the Fed, and they're all part of this kind of school of thought that the debt doesn't matter, that the money that they take in through taxes is essentially effectively burned, and that debt doesn't matter when you can print money.
Hey, listen, that's the current president's philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, it's called modern monetary.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump believes that. I mean, it's if you don't think, I mean, they're printing money right now as we speak.
Modern monetary theory, MMT, suggests that governments issuing their own currency do not face the same financial constraints as households or businesses. Particularly, that means you don't have to balance your checkbook, so to speak, when it comes to funding public spending. It argues that sovereign governments can create their own currency and use it to fund spending rather than relying solely on taxation or borrowing to cover deficits. MMT proponents argue that the primary constraint on government spending is not a lack of funds, but the potential for inflation if spending increases too rapidly.
Well, if you look at the current deficit, not the trade deficit, the United States government deficit, if this budget passes, what adds another 2 trillion, 3 trillion to it? Listen, I'm going to say this, and I don't care if, some of you might get a little ass hurt out there, but the current president, he's the biggest Democrat I've ever seen in my life. This guy is a fiscal Democrat. He makes Bill Clinton look conservative. I mean, you look at Donald
Johnny,
Trump,
I know what you're doing.
You look at his budgets, man, and I mean, hey, this guy has no problem. He's got no problem spending money.
Absolutely, yeah. And this Doge thing, I mean,
this gets into the whole argument. Sorry, Johnny, cut you off.
No,
I
I'm just
just
saying
want
Doge
to.
hasn't done what they said they were going to do either.
Well, what they did was they're going to take anything they say and just throw it at the military. So it's not like it's not going to get spent anymore. So, and then what you're talking about right here is like, why does the deficit matter if we can just print money? That is the same argument for why do we have to pay taxes?
Well, no, they say that too. They say that the taxes only serve to take money out of circulation. That's their thought.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is they use the money to pay off the interest on the money being printed.
Yeah,
well, that's not what they think, though. That's not how they explain it, though. They explain it
of course, because then
money.
People would lose their fucking minds. That's why.
Dude,
Johnny, you don't think people, if they went, hey, dude, your money isn't actually going to fund anything. It's going to pay off the Federal Reserve's interest. They wouldn't be pissed off.
Sam, right now our money is going to pay for bombs that are dropped on the heads of children, and nobody cares.
And that's the bottom line.
And I disagree with that statement.
Okay, 1% of the country cares.
No, I'm not saying that they don't care. I don't think the money actually goes to the bombing of the kids. I think the printed money goes to the bombing of the kids, and our money actually goes to pay off the interest on the printed money.
It's all money, though. We're all going into.
I'm going to tell you this:
it's not the same thing.
This new budget, 13% higher in military spending than the last one. Last year.
This is the craziest shit. I am seeing the word trillion all the time. So I can't find the tweet. It would take me forever to find the effing tweet. But there was this kind of like bidding war to do a deal with Trump between like these three sheiks or these three Middle Easterns. And they were like, I'll give you this amount of money if you don't work with this guy. And then the other guy was like, I'll give you this much money if you don't work with this guy. And then another guy's like, I'll give you this much money if you don't work with both guys. And they were in the trillions of dollars.
Hey, wait. They were bidding on Twitter, or this was a thread explaining it?
This is a thread explaining it.
Okay. I'm trying to find it.
So Caroline Leavitt, whatever you want to call her, not the speaker, but public relations, the blonde chick that comes out and talks. They asked her today. Someone said, "Is the president okay with this new bill adding trillions of dollars to the deficit?" And she literally looked at the reporter and said, "What are you talking about? This bill doesn't add anything to the deficit." And I was, along with everybody else on Twitter, was in shock that she answered in that manner. She actually looked the person in the eye and said it doesn't add anything to the deficit. No, what's it add? What is it? 3 trillion to the deficit?
Well, dude, they have Senator Johnson saying it's going to add 4 trillion.
4 trillion.
But I don't know. I mean, he could be exaggerating.
This bitch literally looked up and said, no, this big, beautiful bill, actually, if you do the math, it doesn't add anything to the deficit. Like, you talk about living in a broken simulation. This is fucking, I mean, I'm literally looking at the TV and I'm like, Donald Trump has spent so many years, on just amazing television marketing that he's convinced 95% of America has the IQ of a turtle. I mean, this guy, it's like, just tell him anything. They'll fucking believe it. I mean, we're in like a bad movie right now. This is like a bad movie. And it's real. It's real shit. I mean, Johnny,
that would be a bad movie, Howie, where we just talked about the budget for like 2.5 hours.
That'd be so hilarious.
But Johnny, how
they get in?
There's
they
a lot of
discuss the
Republicans against the
deficit
budget right now.
I'm sorry.
Twists and turns.
What'd you say, Howie?
There's quite a few Republicans that are not going to vote past this budget.
Yeah, and Trump is laying it on thick. I mean, he's really going at him. Because there are quite a few things that are just close to his heart in this bill, it sounds like. Man, I don't know. I mean, he wants, there are tax cuts in there, but then they're also talking about eventually cutting Medicaid, which is just like, I mean, shit.
Well,
I don't know. I'm a libertarian, so I want it all to go. But
I mean, I could see, we got to add 2 or 3% to the military this year. 13% in 1 year.
Well, dude, and so much of it is going to be going to autonomous jets and the I watched this 60 Minutes over the weekend. You remember
Palantir, Johnny?
Well, no, hold on. You remember Palmer Luckey, who founded Oculus? Do you remember him? The guy that would wear like the beach shirts and the flip flops. And when he got fired from Meta for donating to Donald Trump's campaign, like the first time around, versus Hillary. He got fired from Meta and then went on, he said on 60 Minutes this week, like this kind of revenge tour where he was like, all right, what am I going to do next? I got to prove that I'm not a loser. He got paid, his company was bought. Oculus is bought by Meta. So he's walking around with a ton of change. And he founded this company called Anduril that is all about autonomous military technology. And they just got a huge contract and beat out like Boeing and all the other mainstream companies that usually provide defense contracting for autonomous jets, jet fighter. That's nobody's in it, and it does itself. And he demonstrated some of the technology. They got autonomous submarines. They've got technology that can just wipe out all the drones in the sky. You just hit a button and it kills everything in the sky.
Oh, we're gonna need that. Give me that. We're gonna need that. John, the funniest meme I've ever seen is like that picture of John Connor when he was a kid, and it says John Connor watching us interact with AI. Right? It's just like it's coming. When you say there's manless drones, I mean it's just like, do these nerd dorks watch any sci-fi movies?
No, I know, and he says that they all have a kill switch to reassure people. And
the AI can't turn that off.
He's got a great argument that just appeals to your base brain. He's like, why should we send young men and women to go stand in other countries when we can just send robots? So
I mean, no, this budget is just. I mean, the fact she said it doesn't add anything to that, I just couldn't. Like, you got to be deaf not to believe that or hear it.
Or you're just a liar, dude. Like, we are in a time I say this all the time. A society has to have four pillars to its to be run successful. Yes, Johnny, the rubber fisted. Okay, so the first one is no stealing, no unnecessary violence. Okay, protect your kids at all cost. And the last one is shun lying. And we just aren't that society anymore. People can lie freely with almost no consequence, and our politicians are by far the worst at it.
I mean, yeah, it's just I mean, yeah. I used to get furious with the last administration, just listening to the garbage. This one's times 10. I mean, the stuff that I hear on a daily basis.
I mean, that's a really
No, I mean, listen,
that's a really crazy statement.
Yeah,
I have no problem defending it, man. This shit. Look, let's go down.
You're telling me right now
that Joe Biden was fully healthy. So that was, I mean, just counting that lie over and over.
I mean,
again,
come on, dude.
I never said that. I used to say, for 4 years, I said, I don't think that guy knows where he is.
Yeah, but they said that. The administration that you said lies 10 times less than the current administration said that literally every day, that he's totally fine and healthy.
I mean,
and now he's got advanced cancer is what we've learned. So
the fact that now we're in bed with Syria, we're in bed with Saudi Arabia, we're in bed with Qatar. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but what's lying about it? He's telling the truth. He's going over there to get their money. They get up.
Yeah, but he hasn't told the truth. He hasn't said the only reason he's over there is because his private family's making $1 billion a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if I can agree that this administration is worse than the last administration.
No.
At best, I'll take on par, but I still don't know if I'll buy into that at all.
Well,
and I'm not saying the Trumps are good guys. I'm not saying that at all. I have zero faith in anybody in that position. They're all war criminals. But, I mean, I just can't. I mean, Biden, the moment everything from Biden's election to me was just absolute BS.
Yeah, so, I'm not disagreeing with that. He was a nightmare. I don't think he knew where he was. The people around him were just as bad. But this situation, I've heard way more lies on a daily basis. I mean, between Lutnick, between Navarro, and the stuff that comes out of these guys' mouth whenever they talk, it's just, Lutnick saying that they're going to start making iPhones in the United States in factories, putting screws in the. I mean, who are you talking to, buddy? Come on. And Trump saying that he got really upset with Tim Cook and had to have a talk with him about producing phones in India. They are going to produce phones in India. You're not stopping Apple. Apple does what it wants to.
So I want to tell you guys my new theory. I kind of talked about on Broken Sim, but I broke it down on, I tweeted it. And yes, I did use ChatGPT to tweet it. I make no illusions to that. Okay, let me find it real quick. I am not above that. I am fully stupid. So I just wanted to, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a really good one. And
guys, TMZ, this is just breaking from TMZ. The star of My 600-Pound Life has died at 40. So
I can't believe that. I mean, dude, if anybody who has that on their bingo card just won. I mean, it's impossible.
The guy took such good care of himself.
Yeah,
here we go. It's a woman. It is Latoya Potain. God bless her.
Rest in peace.
Yes,
dude. I would buy puts right now on oh fuck, I messed that joke up.
What'd she die of? Skydiving accident?
Yeah, Howie, that's it.
Okay, here Cracker Barrel. That was the joke I was trying. I put puts on Cracker Barrel right now. That stock's going down after she passed away. Here we go. This is my new theory, guys. China is the new USSR. The banking elites and the military industrial complex are once again propping up a foreign power as a manufactured threat. This time, China, just like during the Cold War with the USSR, we're being sold a narrative that we must outspend and outarm to keep up with a so-called rival superpower. But history tells a different story. The Soviet Union was never truly capable of keeping pace with the U.S. military or economic power. It was largely PSYOP designed to justify massive defense spending and enrich a select few. Now the same playbook is being run with China. I suspect the actual population is much smaller than reported, and their economy may not be the unstoppable dragon it's made out to be by the mainstream media. But it doesn't matter to those in power. What matters is creating a believable adversary so the public can be manipulated and our resources be siphoned off under the guise of national security. They've done it before, they could do it again. There is all of these videos coming out of China about how there's just empty cities, dude. Like these cities are just empty. And this woman, Lee, and they say, oh, she's been debunked, but this Lee Real Talk is talking about how like the number of kindergartens have gone down like significantly by like 20% in China. The amount of salt that they're importing has gone down significantly. And someone said the amount of waste that they're recording has gone down significantly. Peter Zion, I believe is his name. He's Brian Callen's. He's Brian Callen's friend, and he's been on the show. He's took some heat, but he says that China's economy is like been propped up by fuzzy math and stuff like that, and that like they're desperate for oil, they're desperate for food. Something's going on with China's like land that they can't find oil, which is so crazy because it's so big, and they can't grow their own food. So there's a lot going on with that. Like the number of funeral homes have quadrupled in China. These are crazy stats that
makes sense though. I mean, you had like 7 billion of them 20 years ago. They're probably getting to the age where they're all dying now. It's like,
well, that's an interesting thing. She says that, when you go to India, you just see people everywhere. People are reporting that's not true in China. Obviously in these big cities, they're all over each other. But when you leave the big city, it's like completely empty. And so they've done demographic work on that. India's average age is 17 years old. That's how many children they've had.
I believe
China's average age, 38 years old. They don't have a young population right now.
To be fair, though, China is like significantly larger than India.
Much larger.
Square foot. Yeah. It's
especially per square foot.
Square 2 or 3 times bigger, I would say.
Okay, I understand what you're saying right there. Okay, I understand what you're saying. But if you go by what the numbers were, let's say like at one point, India had 700 million people and China had 1.4. China's birth rate has went way down, but yet they
believe
still
on the China numbers though. That's the thing, because anybody that would give me a number on China, I don't believe them. The
I would
UN
believe
probably
anything.
counts this shit. China probably counts it. I don't believe any of that. So yeah, I could totally see where they're lying about that.
And
pretty soon they're going to tell you that like dog is not the #1 cuisine in China, and you're going to be like, yeah, right, okay.
Thank you, Howie.
Yeah, I mean, it also gets in you remember forever there was this narrative coming out of China about China built all these ghost cities to keep their GDP up.
Yeah.
Like, what if that's not even true? What if those are cities that just lost everybody, or they forced everybody to move from these cities in the middle of nowhere to Shanghai? And
they're actual ghost cities. That's what I like. There's actual, they're all dead.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? If there was a bunch, I remember I did stand up in China, and they basically made me stay overnight in a massage parlor, and I thought it was haunted. And I'm like, it's haunted by the ghosts of hand jobs past.
That's amazing. Did you just get up there in front of the crowd, and just be like, bang, chow, wing, bang, wow?
Yeah, it was so funny that if you did a fake,
that's culturally insensitive, Howie.
If you did a fake Chinese accent, they would literally critique you. You're like, that doesn't sound like anybody I know at all. Your Chinese accent.
Yes,
sucks.
it does. It
sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like that to me.
Listen, I'm telling you, the wildest thing that I could say in New York City as far as a basketball story is I started playing in this Sunday game. And the game was in Chinatown. And my friend Lawrence, black dude, he's like, Howie, you got to come play. It's actually a really good game. It's a great gym. It was a middle school gym. So I would walk from my apartment over there, and you couldn't get in. It was locked. So you had to stand there in the door until somebody noticed you. And then this Chinese guy would come over and let you in. So it was Lawrence, myself, and this friend of ours, Puerto Rican dude, big dude. And it was us 3 and 14 Chinese guys. And let me tell you something. These Chinese dudes that played, they could ball. They could flat out play. I'm talking, they weren't like 5'3". And like there were some dudes like 6'2", 6'3", just coming down yoking on you. So I got to know them all. their names were like Joe, Fred, Frankie, Bobby, and they were all like second generation Chinese dudes. Their parents couldn't even speak English.
You know what you should have done, Howie, is just take a bunch of change, drop it on the floor, and see who turns around. Oh, what did you call me? That my mom's here. Howie, did I ever tell you the time that the NBA literally stole a joke from me for one of their commercials?
No way.
So I'm not going to say the name of this comic, but he used to send writers into comedy clubs, to the point one day when Steve Renazizi was still working the booth, he called me up and he goes, "Hey, blah, 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 just did your Yao Ming joke." He's reading it off a piece of paper. I go, "Oh, I know the guy, the writer, he's stealing stuff." So I went to the security. I go, "If this guy shows up telling he can't come in, he's writing jokes and he's stealing them for blah, blah, blah." So the guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, I'm a writer for blah, blah, blah." He goes, "You can't come in." He goes, "Why?" "Because we know you're stealing jokes." He goes, "I'm writing for blah, blah, blah." He goes, "You can't come in." They kick him out. So one day, Dana and I are just sitting back. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Dana and I are sitting back and we're watching a promo for the NBA. And then suddenly my Yao Ming bit makes it in to this commercial.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy.
I'm surprised you said any joke about Yao Ming that could be on a commercial. Honestly, that wasn't so inappropriate. That,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was
but
thinking
here's the
same
thing, Johnny. It was a totally it was
what could Sam have said about Yao Ming's dick that would make it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yao Ming's
No, that wasn't it at all.
He's hung like
That
a
wasn't it
kindergartner.
That wasn't it at all. It was a joke about
I know what it is. I know what it is. I remember.
It was a joke about how Yao Ming was actually 3 Chinese dudes stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then you lift it up and it's like ching chong chang, right? So I'm watching this video and I'm watching this commercial, and sure as shit, dude, Yao Ming goes to the locker room, takes off his jersey, and it's 2 Chinese guys standing on top of each other. And that was an official NBA commercial.
And you know that guy was writing for the NBA.
I don't know if that particular guy, but the whole point is like the Wayans brothers used to do it. I just don't want to say this guy's name, but these other comics would send in their writers and they would just sit down and steal jokes. Now, this is what's happening on Saturday Night Live. They're hiring all these young guys out of college. They have no real life. So these writers go to comedy clubs and they just jack ideas.
They've been doing that in New York for decades. Doing that for decades,
dude.
Yeah,
there was a guy got in almost a fist fight with the writers from Family Guy. Family Guy jacked a joke of mine. And then someone got in a fist fight with a guy from, I think, South Park, said they stole his joke. And they almost got in a fist fight in the crowd. And Ari used to talk about how Family Guy writers were going into the crowd, going to the comedy store and sitting in the OR and jacking stuff.
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, they're infamous for stealing from everywhere. Family Guy.
I had a guy come in Greenwich one night, and he was there. And a year and a half later, he put out a special, and he did my drunk teaching bit. He did. Like,
oh my God! Really?
Yeah. Oh, and not only that. After the show, I'll tell you who it was. But not only did he do it, Sam, he took the exact same joke. And he never taught her it. He wasn't a teacher. And he said, "Can you imagine if you were a teacher and those kids would make you drink, huh?" Like it was so fucking. And my buddy called me. He goes, "Yo, you got to check this out right now on Twitter." He goes, "Basically, he took your joke word for word, but just switched it out. Like, what if you were a teacher? Can you imagine?"
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm just like, dude, you took that one.
One of the funniest things ever was this is way back in the day at the Comedy Store, and everyone's hanging out and we were discussing joke stealers, and my friend Aaron Kerr's like, we were hanging out, Joe Rogan was there and everybody, and Aaron Kerr goes, no one's ever stolen any of my jokes, and Joe Rogan goes, "Then you need to write better jokes."
Speaking of acquisitions, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals is going to buy the bankrupt 23andMe in a $256 million deal. I guess it would
Isn't
take
that
them
crazy?
out of
Something's going out of business. You're like, and we'll give you $230 million for it. I'd be like, dude, here's a ham sandwich.
That stock's through the roof. Yeah, I mean, that's going to help 23andMe.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, because I wonder what they're doing. I wonder if they're actually going to keep doing genetic testing, or they just want that data trove that.
Yeah. Oh, that's
23andMe
it.
has.
That's totally it, dude. That is totally
The
it. They want
company
that
said-
data trove.
The company said it won the court-supervised auction of the genetic testing company, with Regeneron agreeing again to pay $256 million.
6 6 6 7 7 7 7 8 8 8 9 9 9 10 10 10. Can I get 20 20 20 20 20 20 20?
Funny, I grew up going to those, dude. Before horse races, they have the Calcutta, and boy, I loved that as a kid, listening to those guys do the run. Because basically, what you would do before horse races back then, you would, especially barrel racing, you could buy like a share of the horse, like their stake in the race, and then
Could you buy different parts of the horse? Could you be like, we're auctioning off the ankles,
the hooves? Yeah, the hooves are the most important part. Without the hooves, they die.
And the hooves got to be cold. If you touch a horse and those hooves are not cold, you don't mess with that horse.
Howie, I feel like you've done so much in your life. Have you ever been to an auction, like a car auction or anything?
I bought a car at a car auction.
So I had my last girlfriend before Dana was a comic named Christina Walkinshaw. She's a wonderful person, and she was super nice. And her dad was a car dealer in Canada, and he wanted to get all these cars from America. So he hired me to go to auctions and bid for him. And so you would go to these cars, you check it out. He'd tell me what cars he's looking for, and I'd go check them out. I'd tell him how it looked, and he'd give me a number he's willing to go up to on it. So I would go there and I start auctioning, and and the funniest thing is, like, they would have you bid basically against ghost bidders, right? You'd be like, let's say you're like, okay, 999. He wants to get up to say 2,000, and nobody's really.
So you were still bidding to get the price up. Is that what you're saying?
He would point to somewhere on the opposite side of you that nobody was basically bidding. He's like, okay, I got 9, not 50,
okay.
not 50, not 50, 5. Okay, 975, no, you know what I'm saying? That's how they would do it all the time, and you were just bidding against yourself.
That's illegal and rude.
I woke up Saturday or like 5 in the morning, and I walked. It's like a quarter of a mile to the horse barns at Saratoga. And a friend of mine's a trainer, and I looked at this colt, and this colt, 2-year-old colt, most beautiful horse I've ever seen. His father was Authentic, who won the Kentucky Derby 2014. Father made like $7 million, but she's got 50% of this colt for sale right now for $50,000. And I was sitting there talking to her about it. I'm looking at all the figures. You're checking her hooves, making sure the legs are nice and tight. There's nothing. And this horse just went down and just bit me. I'm talking.
Oh, they'll get you, dude. Yeah,
dude, I got a bruise. Listen, he just went. It was just a little love bite,
Oh, and
like,
they will, and it hurts so much.
It's just. It reminded me. I had flashbacks of like being in 7th grade, walking down the hallway when a senior would come up and give you those titty twisters and just
that's what it's like. You were getting
tears to your eyes.
You were bruised too, aren't you?
Oh God, for like a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude,
it
horses
looked like
are
2 priests got you at the same time. It was a nightmare, man. They would just come up and just torrential.
Horses are so dangerous. I can't tell you, dude. My dad's almost died a few times on their horses. Like shoeing horses.
Especially you get kicked by a horse, you're probably gonna die.
Well, he got kicked in the face one time, dude.
Oh my God!
I came home from school and he looked like Freddy Krueger. His face did. It was just all busted up, covered in blood. It's a disturbing memory. And my dad, being the roughneck guy that he is, my mom, who was a veterinary technician at the time, a vet tech, did all the stitches in his face, like sewed him up on our couch with no anesthetic. He's just laying on the couch getting sewn up.
Just give him a bottle of Jack Daniels and say, "Bite this."
Yeah. I got pictures of it that I took when I was a kid of him just being sewn up.
Someone just said in the comments, "Horse talk is a new low."
Yeah, boy, we haven't talked about any. I tried to steer it back on.
Okay, Johnny, take control. Take control. Jesus.
What else do we have, Howie? It's been I mean, the talk of the Moody's downgrade is really
Yeah, so like
dominated
if
the news
anyone
cycle.
wants to know what that means, when Moody's downgrades your debt, American debt, in other words, they don't have as faith that they used to in our debt, our bonds. So what does that end up doing? Look, you go to buy a house, and all of a sudden the mortgage rates are well over 7%. That mortgage rates go up, auto loans go up. Basically, any lending goes up. So that's how it hurts you as a consumer.
It's
not
a drag.
good.
Yeah, it's a drag.
There's two main services. You got S&P, you got Moody's. Moody's is the one that downgraded this one. If S&P comes out, that would probably move it. But what's crazy is we got downgraded, and the market really didn't go. The market actually, the Dow's actually up. So,
Yeah, I was reading about that, Howie. Some thought was that they thought that Moody's was kind of trailing on the downgrade, like they really should have done it a long time ago, and it was all just baked in.
yeah, I mean, some people think that. Now, Ray Diallo, he doesn't. He thinks that
Ray Diallo.
Ray Dalio. I'm sorry. This
No,
guy's
I
a
love
beast,
that.
though.
That guy sounds like the greatest car dealer in the world. Come on,
Hey.
Ray Diallo's, boys. I'm going nuts.
He owns a big fund, man, Bridgewater, and he basically says that he thinks it's a lot worse than they're saying, because he says the federal government's just printing too much money on a daily basis right now to pay off the debt. So there you have it.
I don't know what the answer is either to that. Because it's just not. It's clearly, after what happened with Doge and what's going on right now with this current administration, it's clearly not possible for the government to do it, to take out its own garbage, to downsize itself. Is it going to take an economic collapse, like a real calamity that kills, millions
If
of
the United States wanted to, if we ever really just taxed corporations and billionaires,
they won't.
We'd have it paid off in a couple of years.
They'll tax middle America before they'll tax.
The middle and lower class. But if they ever tax billionaires and corporations, they would solve this quickly.
And
How
don't
about
get me
this,
wrong,
Scott?
I
How
think
about
they should
this,
solve it
guys?
across the board, but
Legalize prostitution, make a whole system for 50% tax.
it would be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, they do that in Vegas.
It'd be a
Or not
drop in the
Vegas,
bucket.
Nevada.
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Bitcoin is on fire, guys.
It sure is, man. I feel like I missed the boat on Bitcoin. Though, is the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Johnny, please don't think that. You don't need to think that, please.
It's really
Dude,
bumming me
with
out.
our good
Is there
friends
anybody?
that
I've
copy
always hoped to
my
have somebody I can turn
crypto.
to. Oh, here we
That's
go.
right, guys. Check out James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Guys, does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you still have done nothing about it? It makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. Well, here's the good news, boys. You don't need to know a thing about crypto to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest, as you simply copy along. So let me tell you about James, boys. Okay, he runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has over 54,000 subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos, 26 magic coins. Had you put $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over $123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said that one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in the 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify for yourself. So if you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, and pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/Sam or copymycrypto.com/Cash Daddies. That's copymycrypto.com/SAM or Cash Daddies. And you'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Yes, you've missed out on Bitcoin, okay? Well, maybe. You can buy little bits at a time. But there's over 200 other cryptos. Do you really think you miss out on all of them? Guys, don't waste any more time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/Sam. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. And we appreciate Copy My Crypto for sponsoring this mega super show. Okay. Mega super.
So I wanted to say one quick thing too. One of the things that got me just pissed off today is I wake up in the morning and I see where Donald Trump tells Walmart, the CEO of Walmart, hey man, don't just because Walmart said we may have to raise some prices on a few things. You want to talk about a company that has the least or the smallest margins in the world? It's Walmart. Walmart, they make money like Costco on just pure volume. They do tons and tons of volume, not a lot of margin there. And Walmart, he told Walmart today, hey, listen, you guys got to eat the tariffs.
Yeah.
You guys got to eat your tariff. Now, I stopped and thought about that for a second. Here you have the government telling a business how to run their business. Like, is that not the most socialistic thing you've ever heard in your life? Like, you got to eat the tariffs?
Here's exactly what he said. Walmart should stop, in all caps, trying to blame tariffs, capital T, as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, do people say this? Eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything, again, in all caps. I'll be watching, and so will your customers.
Yeah, but if you're a stockholder, if you're a shareholder of Walmart, you don't want to see that. You want to see somebody in the government telling your CEO or CFO or people that run the company how to run your company.
Don't get me wrong. Walmart sucks, and their management.
Hey, Howie, let me make a statement right now. Walmart sucks.
I try not to shop there, you know.
Well, no, I don't mean they actually have done a nice job. I just mean they're
Johnny, pick a side. Stop flip flopping.
But my point is,
pleasant, but
you don't tell any business eat the tariffs that the government just put in. Stop.
Eat the tariffs.
Come on.
Well, I love how he said that. Like, you know, as people say, that old saying, eat the tariffs.
Oh, dude, how many times I said that? 1,000 times.
Is that a thing in finance, Howie? I've
never heard it until today. I heard it today this morning. I'm just like you.
The tariffs.
Every day it's something different.
The tariffs.
Did you guys know that Jamie Gertz was maybe pushing a bill? Because
this is the greatest story ever.
And I know why you think it is too. It's because anyway, I'll read the thing. Okay.
Well, back in the day, I actually did stand up in front of her, and she just stared at me in shock and awe as I did my act.
You told me that before.
And I was like, "Oh my god, dude, that's that chick from that movie. I don't know her name, but damn, like, do you think she was like?" Was she the hot chick in the movie, or was she like the like kind of comedic relief girlfriend?
She was the cute, like the one you wanted to marry, not the slut usually. Yeah, I always thought she was beautiful though. Jamie Gertz to me is just beautiful. But she, according to she married. She's become the public face of the NBA's Atlanta Hawks, which she co-owns with her husband.
Yeah, she married into that shit.
But she's there's more to it, dude.
Yes.
There's way more to it. It's not just like arm candy shit. Like she's super smart.
Yes, yeah, and she grew up like really middle class, if you believe what they say here. And I
heard she had to live in a bottle.
That's did live in a bottle
from.
For a while.
She was so broke she had to live in a bottle.
Well, I heard that's how they got over here from wherever they immigrated from. Tajikistan.
She married a dude that was loaded.
And people, she was answering speculation to what Howie was saying, that it's a girl meets billionaire tale. She says, everyone thinks I married a rich guy, but I made more money, way more money than Tony when I met him. I paid for our first house. I paid for our first vacation. I married him because I fell in love with him.
That's probably true, but that dude made a lot of coin after.
Yeah, but so that's the story, is that they kind of built it together then.
Yeah. That's what she says, yeah. And now they're which I just think that's cool, because I always thought she was smoking hot as a kid growing up, watching Lost Boys and all that.
Great era of 80s comedies.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you do wonder how many of these women would hold up to like 4K, from the 80s. Like,
hey, I'm looking at a picture of her now. She's 59 years old.
Yeah.
I would
Still
have
got
hit
it.
that.
Well, Johnny,
Yeah.
it's like kind of that argument about, hey, well, how would Bill Russell do in today's NBA? He would annihilate people because he would probably be taller. He would be a better Greek freak. That's my opinion. He'd be a better Greek freak. They have kind of the same game. He would be taller. He'd be probably have better, even different skills. Like he'd probably see Bill Russell shooting threes.
Wilt Chamberlain would average 40 and 20 in today's game.
So somebody did a simulation on Michael Jordan if he played today, and they took into account like all the skill building, all the nutrition, all that stuff. They said if he played today, he'd average 39 points a game.
Probably more.
Yeah, people don't give him enough credit for being a 3-point shooter toward the end of his career too. He
just
really
wasn't, because you
became a
know they
great
hear the whole
3-point
thing.
shooter towards the
Draymond
end.
Green's made more threes than Larry Bird because they didn't shoot threes back then.
No,
No.
you could, because you had guys throwing you in the 10th row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Adam Silver is at all smart, he would see how people love the playoffs and allow that during the season, but he won't do it because he's an asshole. But here's the thing. If they allow hand checking and touching like they're kind of doing in the playoffs during the season, people will adapt. These guys are such great shooters.
They're worried about
adapt.
injuries though too, Sam. You know that. They're worried about injuries and wear and tear on their bodies. That's really what they're worried about, I think.
Well, I have this theory, dude, that if you don't get hit and you don't do all that, you get more injured. You see it in the
what they think in
NFL.
football. They think that in football. Yeah.
You have to get used to the hits. If you don't get used to the hits, then when you do really get lit up, you hurt yourself.
Dude, that's what Belichick has done with North Carolina now. Is as much as they can possibly be physical during the summer and in the spring, they have been. Where with Mac Brown, they were not at all doing any of that shit. By the way, dude, they have like 30 guys coming in the transfer portal just in the spring. 20 to 30. I mean, just maxing out the transfer portal. It's crazy.
I hope he can mentally stay with it, because he's the Webster's dictionary definition of how pussy can just ruin you.
I think that's a myth. I think he did an interview with what's the guy that he's on or was on that Inside the NFL, they just ruined that show. They fucking ruined that show. It used to be one of the great NFL shows. Anyway, the guy who hosts it now, the black guy, ex-player, I can't remember his name. Anyway, Belichick just sat down with him and explained all the shit about that interview, about how they had asked him in the interview, about her role, and then cut that out where he explained all that shit about her, and then just made it look like she was talking out of nowhere. Like, why do they have a camera on her? That's a good question.
Because she's hot.
No, but
that's
it's the interview of Bill, and they said they're there to interview Bill, and then they just got a little sneaky camera on the girlfriend.
That's because she bleaches her beehole, and then she wants to be seen.
She wants to be seen, dude. They barely got her head. She's like peeking over, like over the wall over there where she was hidden. Anyway, so I think all that the shit with his girlfriend is overblown. But I think from everything I've heard from people at North Carolina that he's just like totally focused on football. 24 hours a day.
He's gonna do great, dude.
I don't know about because he came in too late to really have a hit.
It all depends on his quarterback play. Anyways,
I got another.
Let's get into. I know it's sports. Okay, go on, Johnny.
No, you more sports talk. Okay.
No, I just want to say like the WNBA is just trying to feed us a race riot to watch, and I'm not gonna watch. I don't care how much you show me white girls clotheslining black chicks and black chicks knocking the shit out of white girls. I'm not watching. I don't care.
Everybody, Sam Tripoli's not watching the WNBA.
How great would it be if they just came? They need to come out with a new porn called the WNBA and just show.
It would get bigger numbers than the WNBA.
Fighting, and then just pure scissoring in the locker room.
We've said it before. The number one female sport on planet Earth is adult movies.
I'm all for it.
One of your best lines.
Johnny, you got another story? Because I got something we can.
Yeah, Verizon. It's just we've been kind of monitoring these companies that are rolling back DEI, and Verizon is the latest. They have said on Friday that they're ending their DEI programs amid a probe by the Trump administration into those practices. They become the latest to do that. So that's a big one too. The list includes like Tractor Supply, Citi, Lyft, Starbucks, Toyota, Wayfair, Meta, Zoom, Target, Caterpillar, Walmart, McDonald's, DoorDash, Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, X, Google, John Deere, Instagram, Ford. It's just a long, long list of companies that have rolled it back. So if you want to give the Trump administration credit for anything, you can give them credit for putting a nail in the coffin of DEI, because they really did that.
Yeah,
they truly did.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say one thing finally here, and this is like,
Say
look,
it.
if you're
Say it.
interested
Be
in investing,
brave.
you wonder why people go to the Patreon. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
There's a guy on Twitter. I follow him. I think he runs a fund. Spencer Hakamian. Hope I said that right.
Hulkamania.
But he says this. He's talking about the government. He says the government's never going to be fiscally responsible. They're never going to cut spending and voluntarily put the economy into a recession to get our finances in order. They're going to devalue your bonds in real terms and wipe away all your savings and the value of your currency. The impetus is on you to invest around that reality. My strategy is you buy a little gold for currency debasement, buy a little Bitcoin for the increase in money supply, and buy stocks or equities because they're the ones receiving all the excess spending. Do your own research. Happy trade. He just said it. He said what we do on the Patreon. That's exactly what we do. That's why I put out a portfolio, because we can't control what the government does. It doesn't matter. I've always said this. It doesn't matter who the hell the president is. They're going to F things up like they always do. But we can make money buying stocks. We can make money buying gold. We can make money buying Bitcoin. And we can stay ahead of the game. Or real estate. Forgot to say that one. That's another one I like.
Why'd you forget to say that?
That's how you beat the system.
Totally. So you mentioned gold too. This is just an indicator of how shaky this economy is, I guess. Costco is limiting the number of gold bar purchases by members because people have just been so literally retail investors have been so anxious to get their hands on gold that it surged 40% in the past year, that they had to restrict gold bar purchases for their members.
Yeah, it's a great gift. But what is it? What is a bar there? What, 2,900, something like that?
Rand Refinery's bar sells for $3,249.
I'm gonna go buy a bar. How big is a bar? Like a little bar?
Yeah,
it's a 1 ounce. It's a 1 ounce gold bar. From Rand. Is what they sell.
Gold took a beating in the last month. But it is bouncing off of 293. It's back up to 298. I personally think it'll probably get back above 300 very soon.
Another thing Costco is doing, and this is something I want to talk to you about, Howie. Credit has kind of taken this new form over the past few years, and I think we've talked about it briefly before. This kind of they call it buy now, pay later, which is, that is credit. I don't know how it got rebranded as buy now, pay later. It started with this 4Pay app. I think one of the first apps anyway to do this was called 4Pay, where they would, with no interest, split your purchase up into 4 payments. And I think it was just like a flat rate, flat fee, $5 to do that financing, and you would just pay it over the course of a month or so. Now you're seeing more retailers include that as kind of an official part of their financing. Or it used to be, you would get like a card for a store. And it seems that through companies like Affirm, which also do these, I guess you'd call them like micro loans, they're adding this feature to their checkout. Costco is the latest to do it. They are for big online purchases between $500 and $17,500. Don't know what you would buy at fucking Costco that costs $18,000, but you can do this.
I should go take out a big chunk of money and just go buy big fat bars and then just walk with my gun cocked going, anybody want some?
I don't know how big they are. I think they're little tiny.
Yeah, they're not big. But what do you think of this, Howie? Is this just another way for the sneaky fucking banks to get their hands on your money?
The first thing I would say is I wonder what the interest rate is on these.
Well, it's some of like the ones they always. I looked into this, and it seems to me all of the companies that do this have an option for no interest if you pay it back within a month or two.
Yeah, that's the key.
And you have to make the agreement though ahead of time, like a payment schedule. It's like, hey, 2 weeks from now I'll pay a quarter. Today you pay a quarter, 2 weeks a quarter, 2 weeks a quarter. and then the final quarter, a month later. But they also offer traditional financing options, which seem to have credit card like interest rates. So
Yeah.
I assume that's how they get you, and that's how they're making their money.
Yeah.
Is
There's always a
through that.
catch.
So yeah, it's just interesting that it's kind of, we moved on from every store having their own credit card, and you having your own credit line with each store. Real American Beer, founded by Hulk Hogan, is aiming.
Real American Beer.
Yeah, that's funny. They did kind of rip that off, huh? Founded by Hulk Hogan, is aiming to revitalize the Hooters chain after their bankruptcy filing. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
The iconic restaurant chain Hooters filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in March. This is from Fox Business. But going out of business never appeared to be an option. In a press release published at the time, Hooters explained that it entered into a restructuring agreement with near unanimous support from its key stakeholders. Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer is potentially set to offer an all-cash bid for the Hooters intellectual property. Of a person familiar with the acquisition told Fox Business Digital. So, do you guys ever heard of Real American Beer? I guess it's got like Hulk Hogan on the front, and
what's interesting is he's starting this right now where beer sales are like at an all-time low.
Oh, really? What's that down to? Just people drinking other shit, or is it?
Yeah, young kids don't even drink beer anymore.
Yeah, because kids are smoking pot.
Well, yeah, they're eating gummies, they're smoking pot, they're drinking seltzer, those seltzer drinks.
God, dude, you used to be called a fur if you drank seltzers and wine coolers and stuff when I was in college.
You used to be called a what? What?
You know what I said.
Huh?
Didn't you give shit like all those like White Claws and stuff, dude? You would have got your you would have been just
They were calling you huh?
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What did you call the FA double hockey stick? That's all I got, fellas.
All right.
What do you
got?
Yeah.
Okay, Howie, do you got anything you want to talk about?
Well, no. What's your pick?
Oh yeah, I'm sticking with OIH. I said it last week. Look at oil and energy. It's down, but it's starting to find a base. It's starting to inch back up. I looked at OIH again this week. I think at the last show was at 190. No, it was at let's see where it was. Shit, it's had a nice run since the last show. It was at 219. Now it's at 224. I think that thing's headed back above 235. OIH ETF, very safe. You got to own some.
All right. Well, if
Coinbase had a big hack, check to see if your data was stolen. They say no.
Which one?
No, Coinbase was hacked. They say that no private keys were compromised. I would change mine and get your coin off of Coinbase for a start. But check into that. Make sure your data wasn't.
Oh God! All right, guys. If you love Howie, you want to support him, go check out his YouTube channel. The guy is killing it. He's got the Degenerate.
Oh yes, Sammy. Degenerate Gamblers. We hit the Preakness, baby. We hit the Preakness nicely with journalism on top. I think the exacta was 54, but yeah, we crushed the Preakness. I had Frank Lyons, ex-Breeders' Cup trainer from LA on the show. He gave us the winner. He's amazing. We're gonna have him on again because in 2 weeks we have the Belmont. So crushing
All right.
it.
Go check it out. Howie,
YouTube.com/Howie
Dewey. That's his real name. Okay. And if you want to support me, go to samtripoli.com events. Got new dates jumping up all the time. Nothing but bangers. Got Costa Mesa coming up in like 9 days. Tinfoil Hat in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, San Diego, Broad Book. Just confirmed Boston's a go, bro. And more dates coming. Sam's hanging and banging. Guys, we love you. We love our sponsors. Thank you to everybody who sponsors this show. We had over 1,500 people watching live. So we thank you guys. Without you guys, the show wouldn't be anything. And thank you for supporting us. And why don't you guys head over to the Cash Daddies Patreon? It's guys, listen to me. It's where the bangers bang, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's where the bangers bang. So if you want to bang and you like to bang, go over there to the Cash Daddies Patreon.
Check out the new Broken Sim too. It's out now. It's
check out Johnny's Broken Sim. Check it out. All right, we'll see you at the Patreon. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Take care, everybody. Ciao, ciao,
Bye, y'all.
ciao, ciao, ciao.